Oh, election. I mean, we've kind of been there, but here we go.
Election
2024.
watch, hard to watch. What do we got? Oh, should we start it off? Sorry, I cut you off there.
No. It's fine, Pat. Just take it away.
Let's see how it's going from Biden himself.
Yeah.
He's going to explain how he's doing so far.
I've never thought I'd see a time when I'm going through a neighborhood or a rural town in the West or something to see big signs that have a Trump sign in the middle that says F. Biden, and having a little kid standing with his middle finger, 7 years old, 8 years old. Well, I promise it happens all the time.
That might be the one truthful thing he said recently.
I mean, the optics of that with his audio being like, God damn, he sounds like he's 100. And the guy that they're interviewing, congratulations, you hit 100. Do you have any advice? And it's like, I mean, I don't want to be ageist, but like, you're running the country. Him compared to just 4 years ago is crazy how much he's declined.
It is insane, which is our, yeah, Kimmy, thank you so much. I want to make sure we got to thank you. Thank you for your super sticker. Yeah, the comment, I mean, I guess we'll show it, or we could even show it now, but the comment the title of our episode, Sharp as Attack, is because they're trying so hard to pretend that he doesn't have a problem. And again, like, yeah, but we're all, if we're lucky, we'll all reach a very old age. He's not that old, but anyway, an old age, and we're all going to feel the effects of age. But you shouldn't be the leader of the free world, engaging in numerous wars, denying your country. Like, there are so many things that are wrong with him, but to then add to a genocide, but then to add to it that he's clearly, he should just be sitting in his lawn chair and watching Oprah in the afternoon. Like, he does not need to, he should not be running the country. Nobody feels better having him in
such obvious decline is the problem.
Yeah.
Like, talk to Bernie. Bernie's as sharp as he ever was.
Yeah.
Talk to Trump. And this is the other thing. Like,
Yeah.
Trump is a terrible person, but he's the same terrible person he was 4 years ago.
Exactly.
You can't, there's no gap in him being a terrible person.
Right. Yeah, he's awful. I think, media is urging that they debate. The fact that that's even in question in a democracy that he's supposed to be saving, that he might not debate.
I think that's all. They're really floating the idea. Can we get away with not having a debate? And that's the, like, that story is put out there to normalize the idea that there won't be a debate. So like, oh, we're pushing for a debate. We wanted to have a debate, but if they don't have a debate, I mean, they're going to have a debate. I'm sorry. I just don't think you can get anywhere near not having a debate.
I think it's like a battle of the capitalist endeavors, right? Like, they would make a ton of money, because I do think people might watch that because it would be hilarious.
CNN is really going to want debates. Fox News is going to really want debate, and then just to have the stuff to talk about.
Right, but they all definitely want Biden to win. So a debate would probably really, I mean, unless they did what they did when he debated Bernie and somehow hopped him up on so much stuff that he was able to be passable.
And they'll do that.
Yeah,
it's just,
it'll be interesting to see how that goes.
Look, he's already one of the least interviewed. Well, Biden is the least interviewed president ever. He's given no real
interviews. They've all been like softball, like
not even interviews, press conferences. He's given like, we gave Hillary so much shit for ignoring the press during her campaign, but Biden as president doesn't even come out and talk.
Yeah. And I mean, the interviews are always softball ones where it's like, it's like some yoga guy or all right. Here are all the things that they're going to blame people. Okay. Here's one thing. The protest could really hurt the Democratic Party. So it's not the genocide. It's the protests. Banning TikTok, which I'm glad, the ACLU has not been always great recently, but I'm glad that they are saying that this ban directly violates the First Amendment rights of the over 170 million Americans who use the platform, many of whom were before this considered the Democratic base. Anytime they talk about a bipartisan bill, it means that everybody got together to screw the poor, which is exactly what they did, because not only does this bill enable the genocide, Stephen Semler, friend of the show, unconditional military aid, $10 billion and $4 billion to allow Biden to stockpile an indefinite amount of weapons to Israel. And they've just completely bypassed the Leahy law. I mean, Bernie, as feckless as he has been in all of this, is at least the one trying to say, like, there has to be some sort of standard for giving aid. We can't just give a blank check.
Yes and no. I mean,
I
he's
know,
honestly
like, he's a Zionist in the end.
It's so hard to get a nod with stuff. I know. Because he's still, even, we're not even talking about Ukraine anymore, but like his opposition included the urgency for Ukraine to get money.
I know. It's so gross. I know. It's just so gross. They are kidnapping Ukrainians off the street, mentally disabled, older people, people who are physically disabled. They've slaughtered we have used them as cannon fodder in our war against Russia, which isn't working, which eventually there's going to be some sort of peace agreement, and Ukraine will have lost hundreds of thousands of lives and more land for what? Yeah. And Russia, is becoming part of the BRICS is growing. Their Russian economy, in spite of sanctions, is growing. It's a complete disaster. But the fact that Democrats voted for this foreign aid bill because of Ukraine. Republicans voted for it because of Israel. They lumped in the TikTok ban, and bipartisan, everybody's happy.
And that was the TikTok ban was the truth. Well, all the war money was actually bipartisan. Yeah. Because all these guys want to get reelected. And they're also buying war stocks. I mean, it's like, there's no barrier to them just getting rich off of war. Not a single barrier.
Yeah, that's all it is. They're all, exactly.
But the good news is Biden's going to win because he's going to run on marijuana. And that's really going to change the game. The balls of him to send this out right now. The balls.
I know. And then like the Vote Blue No Matter Who lib crowd were like, oh my God, it's so funny. So this we screenshotted on the West Coast, but it was released on April 20th at 4:20 at 4:20. Hilarious. He's so clever. His comms are so great. No one should be jailed just for using or possessing marijuana. He has been the president of the United States for 3 years.
Yeah.
He could have decriminalized it 3 years ago.
This is a tweet that could have gone out from a Joe Biden parody account on April 1st.
Yeah.
April Fools. Haha. Look at me saying I'm going to do this in 2024 if you elect me, because I literally ran. Here he is in 2020.
Decriminalize the use of cannabis and automatically expunge all prior cannabis use convictions. And then remember, in the first few months, he fired any staff who answered the questionnaire. Honestly, do you smoke recreationally? Fired. Bye.
It's just fun to make that sound.
Yeah.
And don't forget his own, there's the mystery cocaine still unanswered. Hunter Biden, Joe Biden. There's more rumors that it's actually Joe's cocaine, by the way. But
really?
I mean, I started them, but it's probably
99% of dentists agree.
Well, somebody made the case that it was, obviously,
really
on Fox News, but
you're right.
Look, he's got to be up on something. He's up. They get him up.
I mean,
on
something. Yeah, absolutely.
So it was probably a staffer bringing. I mean, who knows? But anyway, in other news,
yeah. All right.
The good news is protesting is illegal in a few states now.
Well, if protests are going to hurt the Democratic Party, you got to outlaw them for sure.
Yeah. So good news for Dems. When I say good news, it's good news for Democrats, which is good news for us because the Republicans are going to take away our democracy and freedom to protest.
I mean, they're just serving this up on a platter for the next Republican administration. how to crack down harder on any protests.
Yeah. And we're not even talking about cop cities right now, but like that's all this leaks into why we have cop cities popping up in every state, almost every state, billions of dollars.
Yeah. Get rid of the protesters, make everything illegal, criminalize homelessness, get everybody into jail, and get free labor, which used to be known as slave labor. That's what's happening. He did, I mean, after this, what was it, 60, $70 billion for war? You know, just a reminder, in February, he pledged 1.7 billion to end hunger in this country. 1.7 billion.
And let's look at that other word there, pledged.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Let's see if that even ever
Pledged
happened.
isn't signed a contract, put it into writing.
Yeah.
You know,
no.
Look at all the money they pledged to COVID that went to cops.
He first pledged it to the states for COVID, and then was like, use it for cops. Said that out loud again, loud. Unbelievable. Talked about the fair housing rule and is now waiting again. Reinstate an Obama era again, like all these people who blame Trump for everything. And it's like, Biden's been in power for 3 years.
Yeah.
So reverse the tax cuts or get back into the Iran nuclear deal. Right.
So I just put this up here because I think we flashed by it too quickly.
Sorry,
I think.
too quickly. Yeah.
But he promised in 2020 all you have to do is repeal what Trump put in place to block the bill,
right,
for the fair housing.
Yep.
And now here he is running on his second turn on doing it like it was a new thing that happened during his term. No, you came in and got elected to.
Yep.
You promised to overturn this. And now it's like, oh, we will this time because we didn't take it seriously. Like we will codify Roe somehow, even though we're not going to expand the court. We're not going to
give me enough Democrats who want to.
Yeah.
It is so brazen and it's so obvious. It's just like embarrassing, right?
Yeah. I will be a better boyfriend if you give me 4 more years.
4
more years. I will be way less douchey. I will stop cheating on you and lying to you every day.
Yeah. I hate Trump, but the Trump derangement syndrome in Democratic cultists online is a convenient go-to in order to absolve Biden of any responsibility for anything. Totally true. And like politics explaining is what they always resort to, right? Like maybe you don't understand. He had Manchin and Sinema in Congress.
Yeah.
In the Senate. Well, yeah. Thanks for explaining that. He gave Manchin a primo position as the chair of the not environmental, the energy, right?
Yeah, he was.
And gave his wife a job. Sorry.
Well, you should take a class in civics because it takes a majority of Congress and Senate to pass any legislation and blah 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 blah. But we have to stop Trump because of fascism. But look. We are going to approve unconstitutional warrantless searches of American communications. So Biden's going to sign this. We know Biden's going to sign this.
I mean, the White House, there was reporting that they were like twisting arms. It was actually a very close vote. That, when he wants something, he knows exactly how to fight for it, as we all know. And he was using his leverage as the most powerful person in the whole flippin' world because they want this. And if you're scared that Republicans are fascists or that Trump is a fascist, maybe don't sign into law a bill that tees it all up for the fascists we're about to take over.
Right. And so we're supposed to believe like all these things are good because, at least Biden is the responsible guy in charge who can do this stuff. But, all this power, expanded power of the executive gets handed to Trump, who Biden has no executive power. Somehow we're supposed to believe, but Trump has all this power already. But here's some more for Trump next time.
Yeah.
But
all the cop cities. Yeah.
This is my favorite own of the week. Hillary Clinton tweeted this out about the environment. She's like, this is what's at stake between Trump and Biden. And this is the emissions projected by 2030. Now, if you see both those arcs are flatlining. So our target which is the only thing that can possibly, we already are going to be extinct on this planet. Like we're already at that point. It's going to happen.
Yeah.
But our target of 2050 is missed by a mile by both these guys.
Biden and Trump are almost at the same spot versus where we need to be not to die. And remember when Obama, like explained to us last year, listen, don't let the perfect be the enemy of the good. If we can't get to 1.5, we'll get to 2. If it's not 2, we'll get to 2.5. Chip away. There's no chipping away. Like climate scientists are losing their minds because, again, I always think of like my trajectory that kind of radicalized me was looking at my children and knowing that climate disaster was here and we were doing nothing about it, right? Like a decade ago. And then it's like, okay, then that gets replaced by Medicare for all, or, lack of health care, homelessness, COVID, wars. Like there is just one crazy catastrophe after another that we can't deal with because the next one is fast on its heels.
It's everywhere. And I mean, we just had Earth Day, right? So the shit, look, Ed Markey is a good environmentalist. Don't get me wrong, as they go.
Right.
But him and AOC posed for a picture with all the Biden goggles on, the aviator glasses, like how cool we are, and had some quote about the environment. But this is a reality. Biden just approved the largest offshore oil export terminal in history in Texas. So we're gonna plan to export more oil, like way more oil than has ever been exported.
And we'll brag about it to the stockholders, actually, by the way.
He will. And he'll say it at the State of the Union at the same time as they're pushing all this climate stuff. Like, haha, you Republicans, we're just as bad on oil as you are.
And we'll give you your fascist border bill too. Let's go.
Why are you afraid of us?
Yeah.
But AOC and Markey.
Yeah. Ed Markey. Yeah.
Markey.
Yeah.
Markley Mark, as I like to call him.
Yeah. Markey. Definitely. That's
Stop co-signing his policy because you are the only, like, you're the best, at least Ed is the best person in Congress there on the environment. And you're like, you got to vote for this guy because he's so good. I mean, it's not enough. You see the chart. It's not enough. It's nowhere near doing anything to save anybody.
So the pragmatic small steps are going to get us all killed, maybe just a little slower. And the only thing, and people said in the chat, we've been talking about it for years. We all know this, that first of all, I do think that they're equally bad. I just do. I actually think on some level, Biden is worse, both because he's been in power longer and has a bigger body count, and because he doesn't get pushback for all the awful policies. If you talk to Democrats and you say, well, what about his environmental policies? They'll just talk about the climate bill and how it was historic, right? If you talk about genocide, they'll be like, well, Trump would be worse. What's worse? Like, what's the worst genocide? They've leveled Gaza. They've displaced 2 million people, and anybody who hasn't been displaced has been slaughtered. They are vaporizing children, people there. Men, women, children.
You could not be worse on Israel than Biden has been.
Or if you are, whatever in these like feeble-minded people's imaginations is worse, doesn't make a bit of difference to the people who are being slaughtered right now. Like it doesn't, there's no difference. There is no way a person with a soul or any standards for anything can cast a vote for genocide. I'm sorry. Like that is despicable.
Also, even beyond the atrocities and the genocide, Biden doing that is allowing all this stuff that could be happening that's evil under Trump to take over. Like all the atrocities that Trump might commit are because of you, Biden, and your policies. So for Democrats to let that go and try to cover it up and just, polish that turd with he's 5% better on the environment.
It's empathetic.
You own what happens under Trump.
Yeah, you handed that to him on a platter. If you're worried, strike is the calming influence for all of us. Just don't pee on him.
It's going to happen on air one day. But
anyway.
Disaster, and I think we should move on.
This is the most election of our lifetime.
Amber Rose Finnegan, when they called him Uncle Bozy, he was shot down. He was in the Army Air Corps before there was an Air Force. He flew single-engine planes, reconnaissance flights over New Guinea. He had volunteered because someone couldn't make it. He got shot down in an area where there were a lot of cannibals in New Guinea at the time. They never recovered his body, but the government went back when I went down there, and they checked and found parts of the plane and the like. And what I was thinking about when I was standing there was when Trump refused to go up to the memorial for the veterans in Paris, and he said they're a bunch of suckers and losers.
And the people that I've talked to and everybody that I have say he's as sharp as a tack. He's fine. We all have an issue with memories. As we get older, we forget names, something. He's overcome a stutter in his life, and sometimes he might. But let's just say that his entire cabinet, including his vice president, everybody in his cabinet, would be more than happy to work with him again in the next term. I cannot say that about the other candidate running, because nobody in his cabinet from 2016 wants to be involved with him.
Yeah, you're good. Let me whisper you a secret. You're one sexy kid. Don't tell mommy what I told you. You got it?
Mm-hmm. I'm recording.
Oh, you're recording. I'm gonna film me.
I'm recording. Don't tell mom. I'm recording.
And he had the shocked face, like, ooh.
Like, he can barely string together a sentence about a lie that his uncle was eaten by cannibals in his little racist anecdote that's not doesn't correlate to truth on any level, but can get it out that you're so sexy, whispering in her ear, like, oh my
Who
God.
says sexy to anyone?
That's
First
not
off,
your.
First off, he's married and he's old, but like, you would never say sexy to someone 25, even if you're his age, 21, 18, 10, 6. What the fuck are you doing, dude?
I mean, yeah. Like, every time Pat and I, we write back and forth. I mean, we talk several times a week, but we also are texting several times a week. And then sometimes I'll be like, I got to tell you something. And I won't even write it in a text to Pat, who is like one of my dearest friends, because I was told when I was very young by my dad, like, don't ever write down something that you don't want the whole world to read. Here is
in case we become enemies, I screenshot it. I'm sharing it with
or you get hacked or whatever the hell. I don't know. Just don't. But like, he is one of the most documented people in the world because he is the president of the United States, and he knows that people. I mean, like, that he already has 8 sexual harassment suits against him. That he has this reputation of being this disgusting pervy lech, and he's still in the middle of his sundowning dementia where he can't find his way off stage, finds his way to a young lady's ear to tell her how sexy she is.
I'm sorry, but like, if you don't know the difference between adorable and sexy, like, you should be saying you're adorable. Like, oh, aren't you cute? Or, like, adorable is like not a sexualized word, kind of like, use that word. That's what everybody else in America would say. Like,
but not
charming.
to
Aren't you
whisper in her
charming?
ear.
Aren't you
or
sweet?
like,
or
oh, you look so lovely, and tell me, what are you like? I don't know. Actually, no, I'm sorry. Like, I love you, and I don't care what anybody says to me personally. He shouldn't be telling anybody she's sexy, adorable, attractive, and he should just zip his stupid lips, shut it, and be like, thanks so much. Where do you go to school? Thanks for coming out to support me. What's your, like, he should never be whispering in anybody's ear ever. Oh my God. His handlers.
The use of the word sexy is just infinitely unforgivable. Like, it's just.
And he knows it's wrong because when she says I'm recording, he's like, ugh. Somebody grab that camera from her. Oh my God. Yeah. And yes, exactly. Thank you. He says, don't tell mom. There are so many videos where he actually
the red
says,
flags are like,
oh my
they're
God.
screaming at us. And don't forget, I mean, people did in 2020, his whole campaign started with all the Democrats coming out going, all this shit is so problematic. Like, holy crap, you know, we have one of the Justice Democrats and like, was it 7? I don't know. There were so many people.
I think there were 7 or 8 people who
had direct claims
filed
about uncomfortable sexual contact with Joe Biden. And they all got washed away because the Democrats were stuck with him and they just all went away. And here he is time after time, the hair sniffing, the kid stuff.
The touching, like it's just so disgusting. I think we missed one. Oh, Lynn, thank you for the super chat. Cheers. Thank you. Thank you. Okay. Where are we?
I think we're at, I mean, you could spin and get a here, or we could just go one good thing. And I think
we should one good thing it and send everybody off to dinner, right?
It seems appropriate. Strike is in my business.
On you right now.
Oh, literally falling on me.
Oh my God. Okay. You guys are awesome. Thank you so much. We love you. Keep punching up. We will see you on Sunday for our shit show at 5:00 by Stripe and a strike. And I've clearly I've been way overserved
right
by
amount.
our bartender.
The right amount.
It's the perfect amount. You guys are awesome. And
see you Wednesday.
Sunday, dude.
Sunday. Excuse me.
Oh my God.
What day is it?
Yeah. Just keep drinking. Cheers, everybody.
Refugees will return. Columbia,